Well, hi everybody, once again, welcome along to Speedway Gladiators. This time, hopefully, we'll get a start of the 2024-25 season. Coming up in tonight's show, with the compliments of Video Hub, of course, we'll be looking at some of the highlights from last season. We'll be chatting to Bruce Robertson, the promoter here in Palmerston North, about what's on the program. We look at the Robertson Prestige International Speedway calendar. We talk to the guys that do the green sheeting here at the track and what it is that they have to do. We talked to UCOL. The panel and paint guys always put some cars in the demolition derby. Ray Tarrant Memorial, the Sidecar Memorial, is on tonight. We talked to Ray's son Dave about Ray and what he got up to. That's all coming up in Speedway Gladiators, once again with the compliments of Video Hub. Well, let's kick off the season by looking at some of the action from last season.
And we got one up the wall, two up the wall. The Wayne Hemmy's been hung out to dry. Oh, one up and over, that's Rebecca Barr. Can Bankston jump in here and make it a former super stock driver trifecta? That would look cool on the Manawa 2 Champs podium. Going to attempt the 12 as well. Here comes Paul Hosking, the 37B, and he gets to the lead as Hosking. Oh, look at this one up and over. It's the points lead. It's your first race winner. The 3NZ underneath. Oh no, Wayne and Max have got it back. Down in front, turn 3. They come in, the crowd's celebrating. They are way too good. It is Mike Zahn, Ben Franklin. They are your new New Zealand sidecar champions. Does he have anything out of 4? No, not quite. Nathan Jeffries, the 3NZ, will take the win. Kofoy looks back to the bottom. TV is up the inside of Davish. Holding on for third. Here comes Kofoy. Pick up the win for the Mustangs. Ball's going to take him straight to the wall road. The 135 puts the 13 in. Going wide. Oh, Diamuni's up the wall. Diamuni's up in the wall. He's over. He's taking the fence post and the wires with him.
Bruce Robertson is the promoter at the Robertson Prestige International Speedway. We caught up with Bruce at the track and we found out what's planned for this season. Got promoter Bruce Robertson with us. Bruce, another season. It's come around very, very fast.
The last couple of weeks, things have really been happening, and had a huge number of new competitors, particularly in the mini stock class. There's, I think, around 15 to 18 new competitors there. Quite a few new stock car drivers and stock cars out there, of course.
We've got around 22 meetings, I think. Fireworks, of course, next week.
The Manawatu Standard sponsored that event, and it's always a tremendous event for the city and the region. In actual fact, it's one of the biggest and best fireworks shows you'll see in the area, that's for sure.
People are talking about the teams champs already, and what do we know about teams?
The British teams coming out again, of course. They're all pretty much organised to get out here and try again. But when it comes to teams racing, it's a totally different concept to what they are used to over there. They're not as aggressive as the New Zealand drivers tend to be. Well, you saw the Panthers last year, who didn't even qualify for the second night, which is an unbelievable after so many years of dominance. But this year they'll be back with a vengeance, and there's a very good squad there, and a Mustang squad as well.
We are giving the Panthers and the Mustangs an opportunity. We're blooding them out. We're having a super stock teams race before the teams champs.
There is, yeah. Beginning of December there'll be teams racing there.
Will that be Panthers or Mustangs?
Could be both, and a couple of visiting teams as well that are keen to come to
get some
on that same night. Yeah, Wellington Wildcats are definitely coming, and then there's a couple of other teams that are keen to come over and on the same night.
We've got to have probably the best facility in the country, haven't we?
We've probably got one of the best facilities in the world, in actual fact. If you travel around the world and see what, like, our pit area is, there's nothing that I know of anywhere else in the world that compares to that. So, and the track condition, and Puck and the team that work on the track there, Robbie and the grader, and they've been at it for years, and they know how to prepare a nice track. Yeah. Well, you see when the Super Saloons race here as well, like at teams, they think Palmerston's too narrow for Super Saloon racing, but when they go through the corners 3 wide.
Something a little bit different, the possibility of the international sprint cars. Do we know anyone who's confirmed for that yet?
There's an Australian driver coming and an American driver coming out as well for it.
Overall, it's, as I say, 22 odd meetings, about the same as usual. Let's hope we can get as many of those in as possible. Outside of the teams, which is probably the highlight, what others do you think? Have you got some personal favourites?
Well, there's always Easter as a great weekend. I mean, we have the Manawatu midget champs and the sprint car champs, and then the street stocks turn up here for that tri-series. They run here, and then they go across to run here on the Friday night, go across to Hawke's Bay, and then to Rotorua. There'll be the stock car champs, and between Christmas and New Year, that'll be a huge event.
I've also got pretty good selection of sidecars.
There's always around that 20 teams that are contracted to Palmerston here. We'd have the biggest number by far, and it's great racing, and the guys respect each other. And
let's hope we have a pretty dry sort of a summer.
Well, they predict these long, hot, dry summers, but then you saw last year it was the exact opposite. You've just got to take it week by week, and that's all there is to it.
The mini stocks, of course, are going to be the stock cars and possibly super stocks of the future.
I think just about every New Zealand champion in the last 10 years has come out of mini stock racing, so it just shows you there is a reason to support that class and to give them a little bit of time out there on the track, because they're our future champions.
It's going to be a great year. Just keep the fingers crossed for weather-wise that we're going to get all the meetings in. sheeting is something that most of us know little about. How did the green sheeting get its title? How did it get its name? What did the green sheeting staff do before the cars were allowed on the track? There is a thing called green sheeting. And Richard Harrod is a man that knows all about that. Richard, where does the term green sheeting come from?
Actually called a CVI now, so it's a complete vehicle inspection. We look for if there's any changes in rules and stuff like that, so to make sure the competitors are up to date with the rules, and we check for mainly safety stuff, make sure everything's to the current rules, and make sure we check seat belts, make sure they're all current, check heat clearances for all different classes. Most classes have 100mm heat clearance.
How does that compare with the scrutineering on racing?
Scrutineering is a safety check, so SNZ will give us, on our phones, will give us like 6 to 8 things we check, and it's different every week. This season we've been actually a little bit stricter as I've taken over the head scrutineering role, so we're just trying to lift everything back up to what it used to be. Palmerston North used to be the toughest track in the country to get a green sheet done, and we want to get back to that high level.
Somebody comes in with a mini stock, just take us through a hypothetical mini stock check. Where do you start?
This season we've been having to remove all the panels off the car so we can take photos of the roll cage, what Speedway NZ have put into the new app, and then we check overall height of the car, generally go through the rules and check everything else and check the heat clearances and stuff like that. Engine placement is 650mm to the front pulley, and there's no tolerance in that.
As far as stock cars are concerned, that's the biggest class probably, is it? If you're going to turn it down on something, what's the most common thing you turn it down on, do you think?
It'll be just something basic like safety, or we just turn one down just before that hole in the firewall needs to be filled in. When you explain it to them, it's a safety thing, and there should be no variations in the rules when it comes to safety, so we want the sport to continue, and if we keep the safety nice and high, no one gets injured, we go all home happy, and if people get injured, WorkSafe New Zealand will look at shutting us down, you know.
Richard, thanks for your time, mate, and thanks to all the team. It's a very, very worthwhile job you do, and I'm sure you get a lot of satisfaction out of it. Richard Harrod, he's the man for the green sheeting here at the Robertson Prestige International Speedway. A very, very important part of the racing here. This weekend, another big weekend at the Robertson Prestige International Speedway. Sidecars will be featuring, and it's always a memorable night too, because it's the Ray Tarrant Memorial, and it attracts riders and swingers from really all around the country, and certainly the local guys too. Ray Tarrant, it's a name everybody knows, but do we really know Ray Tarrant? Much about him? Well, we decided to find out. We got hold of one of the sons, Dave Tarrant. Ray had a long history with Speedway, but were you one of those kids that got dragged along to Speedway every weekend?
I do remember coming as a young fella, sitting in the old wooden grandstand back in the day with a wooden fence, and I remember sort of coming along for my hot dog and my Coke, and that was sort of it. And I'd heard through the grapevine that Dad used to race at some stage.
No, did he?
Yeah, raced a stock car very poorly, I heard, and I heard it was on a pretty tight budget as well, but like everybody back in that era, because he was a qualified A-grade mechanic by trade, so obviously guaranteed he had some association with somebody to do with Speedway.
He was in the radio game. He was at 2XS. He joined there as a salesman and eventually got to be the sales manager.
That's where initially the connection came with Speedway, and obviously you'd remember it very well because every year it sort of was a bit of a choice between was it a 2ZA Speedway or was it a 2XS Speedway. And Dad had started at 2XS on its inception, and I think in the years where it was 2XS, he started to get asked could he help out. And from what I could remember, I think at some stage, Russell Harris may have said, I'll work with 2ZA, but I won't work with 2XS. So in a year where 2XS became the naming right sponsor, became the host radio, Dad was forced to step up and find someone to do some commentary. But I do remember, because I used to come along every Saturday night that he was the commentator, and I used to sort of be his right-hand man. So I'd sort of get to stand outside the box of Speedway back in the days where the booth went all the way around.
Yes.
And I'd get notes from him of go down, see a driver, go down, find out why he pulled off, and sort of, earn my chips and my hot dog that way. Every year that it comes around to teams especially, it's always great because all the old clips pop up, and Craig Boot going the height of the grandstand sort of comes up, and then always in the background I'll grab my boys and say to them, that's your grandfather commentating, screaming from the top of his lungs.
Back three, they go for 1, 2, 3. Have a look at that. Boy, they don't go higher than that. This is an awesome rollover. You never see better than that. How high do they go? Wow. Up and over he went. Well, if he ain't getting now, he never will be.
How many years did he put into Speedway?
I would say it would have been around the 20 to 25. Yeah, I would have said it would have been a few years on and off. And I know in the years where he didn't commentate, he still couldn't help himself. He still wanted to follow it. He still wanted to be part of it in some regard. And then some of those times my brother was still racing, so he'd probably follow the sidecars, but follow it more from the sideline than in the box.
So logically, it became the Ray Tarrant Sidecar Memorial, not stock cars, but sidecars.
Yeah, it became sidecars. I just sort of thought when it was my initiative to put up the trophy, something for that I thought Dad would really have wanted. And sidecar was where he felt like he had a real passion with the guys.
The guys come from all around the place. They want to be part of it. They want to get their name on the trophy. And it's one that they've got to be here for.
I think it was the proudest when a couple of the guys, and especially Wingnut was one of the first to come up to me and said, if I never get a number on my bike, 1, 2 or 3, I want to win your dad's trophy. And he said, that's what we see it as. And one of the years where we sort of most recently, I was probably the proudest, was when we got to present, and my young boy Zach got to present the trophy to the winners. And he got to stand up there in the club rooms afterwards, and that was sort of a really proud moment. And just to get the riders and swingers to come up and sort of shake hands, and they just said to them that other than winning a New Zealand title in this region, that's the trophy they want to come and win.
The Ray Tarrant Memorial is very, very well known to certainly the sidecar fraternity, and in fact the other classes as well. Yep. And they expect it. They expect good close racing.
When you look at it, in some of the years that I've come along and always watched, and you look at the numbers that turn up, as you say, it's just usually just behind a New Zealand championship.
Yep.
And they'll travel from far and wide to be part of it. So again, it's full credit, and I'm sure Dad will look down and say pretty proud to see what's come of it.
Well, it's Dave, it's great to talk to you about Ray. Thanks for coming along and spending a bit of time.
No, appreciate it. Thanks, Dave.
Dave Tarrant, the son of Ray Tarrant. And, of course, the Ray Tarrant Memorial Series is on this weekend. Let's go back at last year's Ray Tarrant Memorial and look at the action from the sidecars.
Red helmet means they're starting from gate 1. 3NZ, Jamie Moon, Patrick Larson. Blue helmet out there, the 97. The defending champion, two-time defending champions, Mike Zahn, Ben Franklin. Can they make it a hat trick? Gate 3, it will be the 27B bike, Craig Bowler and Plummer. Got the white helmets on the yellow helmets there, the 26B bike, that's Justin Lincoln and Tim Beaver. And on the outside, the 1NZ, the green helmet there, Dylan Moon, Sean Mason, they had to come through the repechage. Right, we get the revs up, and the tapes are up, we're underway. Oh, banging between the two. 3NZ and the 97, the two bikes there. And the 3NZ's got the jump. Here comes Zani though to the outside. We already know Jamie Moore and Patrick Larson, they've gone 3 from 3 in qualifying. Zani looks at the high line. Jamie Moore holding it tight down the bottom. Mike Zahn to the top. Yellow helmet of the 26B. Justin Lincoln in third. Here comes Mike Zahn to the top now. What can he do? Can he get the sting around the outside? 2 down, 2 to go. The 1NZ's in fourth, the 27's in fifth. They're watching all the action unfold. Mike Zahn, he slips back a wee bit, gets a run down the grandstand straight away. Keeps it tight. He's going to have to set the bike nicely for this last lap if he wants the trifecta, but I think the 3NZ's pulled away too far. Jamie Moore, Patrick Larson holding on. Mike Zahn's got one last chance. Gets a good run out of turn 2. He's going to take the dive to the outside in turn 3. And here comes Mike Zahn. Can he get the job done? Not quite. The 3NZ's going to take the title. 3NZ, Jamie Moore, Patrick Larson led it from the start to finish.
We had an opportunity during the week to pop down to UCOL, to their paint and panel department. They always support the demolition derbies. We find out what they're planning to do for tonight and their involvement with Speedway.
G'day, it's Ash here from UCOL. I'm a lecturer here. I've been here for 14 years now. When I got the job here at UCOL, it really inspired me to offer all the skills that I've learnt throughout my years of panel beating to give it to the students and let them start their career in the panel beating trade. When the students do this course here, we cover everything that is involved with the panel trade. They learn a lot of welding, fiberglassing, all the body filler side of it, right through to painting the cars, plastic welding, everything to do with the trade we touch on. We have a really good relationship with Puck down at the Speedway there. He gives us the cars. So once he does that, we work on them with the students, and they pull them all apart, do all their panel skills on them, line up door gaps and so on. And when we're finished doing the learning side of it like that, they pull them all apart, and that's when the cages go in and we build these derby cars. Basically, we cut the roof off a vehicle, we'll lower a cage in, and then the students will weld all the roofs on, reinforce them all, and that way the cages can get used from car to car. Throughout the year when they're building these vehicles up, they're covering a lot of the learning outcomes that are required from the course. It is a good way of ticking all the boxes and getting their assessments and everything covered. It covers the practical side of it, and it's a sign-off. Obviously there's a theory base to everything that we do as well, and when it comes to doing the practical side of it, this is the perfect thing to sign all those things off with. So how we go about getting the students in these cars, the first up thing is works on attendance. So the students that have attended and have the best attendance throughout the year get the chance to have the first drive. Not all people want to do it, which is fine. Then after that, the names go into a hat. We pull out a name, and then the lucky drivers get a go at it. Once they've done a derby and stuff, we get a really great feedback afterwards. They just over the moon. They're just so happy. It's a whole new experience for them out there, and it's a chance of a lifetime, because not a lot of people get a chance to have a go at something like this. So when the students have completed the course, the name of the game is ultimately to get out into industry and get an apprenticeship and start their journey with the panel beating trade. If you've got young, or teenagers sitting around on the couch, not really doing anything, and sort of mechanically minded and into cars, and maybe want an opportunity to drive one of these things, enrol them in the collision repair course, because it's a really good course for learning the skill. We focus a lot on the practical side of things, where we'll do a demonstration and the students will go off and do it, rather than sit in a classroom and stare at books all day. But also they learn a lot of life skills here. We have a really good time. It's a real friendly environment that we set up in our workshop, and a really good, easy learning environment.
Derby again tonight. Let's go back to last year's Derby and look at some of the highlights.
Okay, Derby underway. Is off and going. We have to bring the mic level down, sorry, so I don't know if you can hear us properly. Either way, what's Bryn up to? Oh, there, Bryn's got Carl. Carl's been spun up, the 172. Bomber Bryn's gone through and is leading the race. Whoever was leading is now spun up. Wow, look at Bryn down the far end. He's just blowing them to bits. At the ramp. One of the UCOL cars has gone, and Mad Dog's been taken. One got bumped there. Is that the 121? Yeah, Curtis McKenzie just got toasted there. Mad Dog's been put on the wall there, number 3. Oh, Derby Carl's smoking up in front of the grandstand. You're joking. He hasn't even done a lap. Sophie Oswald. There we go. Female leader. Just over the ramp. White flag. It's the last lap for the 141. The white flag. She's going around in front of the grandstand. This is going to be your Derby winner, folks. 141. Turn 3, UCOL car limping away. I was going to say a clear track in front for Dave, but not really. Not really. I mean, no moving cars. Right, here she comes over the ramp one last time. Ducks and dives, and she's over the line. And Sophie Oswald is your Jack Links Ramp Derby winner. A sensational drive from the 141. So impressive.
Well, that's Speedway Gladiators for another week. We'll be looking at another Memorial Series coming up in the next program. Stand by for that. Meantime, drive safe. Have a great week.